Hello and welcome to the Blackout podcast where I get to talk to amazing people who do amazing things. And today I'm going to be really full after this recording.
Yeah.
Because I have Chef D in the house. Thanks so much for coming to the podcast
You're very
today.
welcome. Nice to see you.
So I was at Roots and, Star from Milan Vibes was like, you need to check out the sliders. I'm like, whatever. I'm like, okay, that was dope. That was dope. Like, go check out Chef D and I love food.
That's fair.
And then so let's just go back a little bit. Actually, let's start with Roots. Tell me about the sliders, man. What went into making those magical things?
So the sliders kind of came together. They were looking for like some barbecue chicken, and I like to dabble and play in kind of different cooking styles. So I mixed a little of my Caribbean with a little of my Southern techniques and kind of put those together. And I basically did a jerk patty with a plantain coleslaw and then a Southern style barbecue sauce on a Hawaiian roll. And then all in all, in one bite, it captivates your mouth almost.
Tastes friggin' brilliant, man. So let's go back then. How did you get into cooking?
I started cooking since I was honestly 16. That we could even go further back and say since I was a youngin, literally since I came out of the womb, I was ready to be in that kitchen. If we're talking more professional, I would say when I was 16, I started as a dishwasher. Then kind of moved my way up through the ranks, all the way to a sous chef. And I said, you know what, the kitchen's not really here for me. I'm a stoner who likes to eat food. You know what I'm saying? So kind of when I figured, okay, I got to make munchies food. And that's kind of the food I make now. I'm trying to bring in all my people who like, late night foods or high foods, things like that. And kind of put the community back together. I feel like once weed became legal, everyone kind of dispersed and kind of went into their own bubbles.
Oh.
The community wasn't so much of a community anymore. So I feel like through food is a great way to bring the community back together.
Man, food is a great way to bring people together. And you do magic with the food you make. So, what made you decide to go through the whole, station? So, also, what's a sous chef? I keep hearing this thing. I'm like, I'll Google it one day, but I've never really had a reason to. You're here. What is a sous chef?
So, a sous chef is someone who basically is in charge of the kitchen. So, they are in charge of the floor, while the executive chef is more in charge of, the overseeing of it all. So, they're kind of the main boss, you would say. You kind of have, if someone's owner of it, then they're the owner, and then it kind of goes down. Almost like a chain of command. And you have, a line cook at the very bottom. And the dishwasher even below that, actually. So then you kind of, as you go up to the different positions that are in a kitchen, you can kind of be like, okay, I learned this. So now all of my knowledge from here, from the beginning till now, I can use with my sous chef brain and hat on and be able to lead and teach people to be a little bit better.
Okay, and what led you to the realization you didn't want to be inside the kitchen?
It was mostly just because, for me personally, it was a lot of head-on, competition based in most of the kitchens I worked at, until I went to around a sous chef level and I was kind of in charge of the kitchen to a degree, is where I seen a little bit more flexibility. But then I also was I don't really want to work for nobody else. I kind of want to have that generational wealth, put it back in my family, and see what my dreams could be instead of building up somebody else's.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow. That's brilliant. And then competition,
So cooking's all a competition.
So those cooking shows are real.
100%. It's about, can you make a better fry than me? I don't think so.
What?
But we can definitely differ. You know what I'm saying? That's where the competition's gonna come in.
Because I was actually gonna ask you about cooking shows. Whenever I talk to a chef, I'm gonna ask about cooking shows. I mean, it is TV, but does it get that crazy?
Honestly, a great representation for a cooking show that's pretty much dead on accurate is The Bear. If you ever watch that show,
I keep hearing about it.
It's one of the really good ones. So it basically takes a chef. I think he's coming from this high-end restaurant. I forget the restaurant name right now, but he's coming from there, coming down, and he's kind of working at his brother's restaurant who just died, right? So he's trying to take it over, and it shows all the steps of him having to work with the new members of his team, then having to lead them, then having to change their menu to something completely different. Basically goes from a sandwich shop, a regular mom and pop owned shop, to a fine dining like restaurant within like 2 seasons.
Wow. Also, like fine dining is where they make tiny plates with like those things. Why
Yes.
do they do that though?
So,
Like,
so I would say this. Fine dining at the level you're referring to, yes. I don't really understand the one bite meals. You know what I'm saying? I like to eat. So that's why the food I make, it is a little bit like fine dining when I do plate it, but portion size is like, we're never gonna lack.
Yeah, like I
grew
don't
with a full plate
understand
of
why
food,
they do that. I'm like, I'm looking at this thing, I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
I need to
Yeah.
eat when I leave this place.
You know what it is? They want you to be intrigued. I've seen this.
Okay, so in the kitchen, I guess, like, going through those ranks and stuff, like, what were some things you liked and what were some things you didn't like?
Some of the things that I really liked, honestly, is the people. Like, you meet the weirdest and like most variety of people and diverse. Like, it's crazy. I could meet someone who's 60 years old who's been cooking their whole life to someone who's like 20 and who works in like the finance department, just here to be a server for what reason we don't really know. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different people.
Yeah.
And honestly, trying food. Like when I was working through the kitchen, I was trying so many different types of food that I wouldn't have tried if I was working, or not even just working, if I was just staying to my own culture. I had to expand. Like kind of when I started in Italian, then I went a little bit to Southern, then I went a little bit to French. I went back to Caribbean because I've been Caribbean my whole life, so I don't really need to go too hard into it. Just gotta dabble and dibble, you know. I know the flavors are there. And now I'm trying to get more into a more worldly like view. My next thing is maybe Thai food.
Thai food?
Yeah, trying to make that a little bit more infused in my repertoire of skills I got.
So, like someone like myself that doesn't know shit about food, I'll be like, oh, this food, I like this one, I don't like this one. And then how do you train your taste buds to know what, like, oh, you need more garlic here. You know what I mean? Like, what type of work do you have to do to get there where you can kind of just eat the thing and be like, I watch cooking shows a lot. You can tell, like, this is lacking that, and this, like, how the hell do you even get there?
Honestly, I'll give you my most realist answer. It's 2 things. 1, I get high first, and then 2, I let my ancestors talk to me. So my ancestors guide me. I say, you know what? Does it need a little bit more of this? Maybe. We taste it. All right, we need a little bit more of that. All right, we'll try it. So I just kind of like, I feel it. Almost, to me, it's almost like a feeling. I don't really know how the best way to describe that. Yes, I can create a recipe. Yes, I can break it down and put it into steps. But if I'm just cooking without a recipe or just without any type of like paperwork, I'm literally just in the mode. It's almost like something comes over me and it's just like, all right, it's gonna come out.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I guess, like, you're done now. What was the process of setting up your own stuff, and how has it been going so far?
So the process has been very hectic, I won't lie. I've moved from Toronto all the way to Halifax. I'm in the military, so being transitioned to over here has made me have to like kind of restart almost. But since coming here, it's been going. I only got here in October, so definitely trying to get my foot in the water and see kind of what Halifax has to offer. And sorry, what was your other question?
And like, how's the process? How's it been going so far?
Oh, and other than that, it's just like we're at the Dome right now, so we're there every single weekend. Very great. If you guys ever want to check us out, please check us there. We also do deliveries around the city, so just kind of get people to understand that we do those things. And then with Roots that I just did the other day where you met me, it's kind of just get myself more integrated into the Black community or Black African community that is in Nova Scotia, and try to see where my people have been, the entire time.
Let's rewind. So what was it like in Toronto when you were there?
In Toronto, it's because there's so much variety of people and there's so much people trying to do the exact same thing. For me personally, I found it pretty hard because to break out in a scene where everyone who knows somebody is just going to help their friend, which is great. Like I love that help a friend person. But if you don't know me, to try my food and I'm just showing you on my Instagram, it's a little bit more sketchy. So you got to you want to build a relationship with that person first, and to build a relationship in Toronto is the tricky part. Everyone wants to kind of stay in their own circles. So I found once I left Toronto, honestly, I got more attention from Toronto because now they're watching. They always knew. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, I'm seeing it. Okay, I like it. So I feel like now I'm getting more integrated too into the Toronto scene, which is nice.
And then, what's your process for cooking, just in general?
Like any particular dish.
Mm,
So I would wake up in the morning, like see what my prep list is. I usually write lists out. I'm a very big on writing lists.
okay.
If you ever come to my house or see any of my paperwork, I have like 10 paperwork just for one menu, like one item. Because to me, if I write it out and I break it down, what's happening in my head, and I see it on paper, I can rationalize, I can visualize, I can actually break it down before ever touching the food.
Oh.
Right? So my mind is a lot for me. And then, like I said, I smoke, so that helps relax me. And then after that, I kind of just start whatever my list says. So if I have prep in the morning, I'll do my prep. Like for the poutines I brought you guys today, that took me about 4 days to make. Yeah, it took me about 4 days to make.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Oh my God. Wow. Okay. What happens in the 4 days?
So the first day, we're doing the stock. After the stock is, I make it go for about 12 to 24 hours.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, I make my own beef stock. I don't slack. Listen, I'm telling you,
Wow.
try to give you that, a little different.
Holy smokes. Wow. Okay, no. Thank you.
You're
Okay,
very welcome.
So that's just one day on that. Oh my God.
Yeah, then the next day we make the gravy, right? And after that, it doesn't take too long. It takes a couple hours. And we had smoked turkey with it originally. They sold out altogether, so
Wow.
that's completely gone. But the smoked turkey is what took the longest. It took about 2 days, 1 day to smoke. And then the next day, we made a fortified turkey stock and mixed that.
Okay, I have so many questions right now. First off, I always want to ask this because like when you say the thing is smoked, don't you just like put it on the fire or like?
No, it's actually
on top of fire. I mean on the fire.
So it kind of is like an entire world of itself. Smoking
Oh.
is one of the hardest things to do in the kitchen.
Oh.
Reason is temperature. It's kind of like if you were to touch something, your touch would be different than my touch. But we all know what the jiggle looks like. But there's no real, like, obviously there is a temperature you want to reach to, but it's all about eyesight, all about feel, all about taste, all about touch. The more you do something, the better. So smokers and barbecue people, like people who barbecue, I think they're called pit masters. They are really masters in their craft.
Wow.
If you ever get a good barbecue spot, and you like, how the hell did they come up with this flavor? That person behind it probably been doing that for like 30 years. I'm telling you, no joke. I've been talking to a lot of pit masters, and they know so much about that. Like, the different wood to use for the type of fire, the temperature of the fire, to the type of how close you want it, to what kind of spritz to put on the meat as it's cooking so that it goes in the fire and rehydrates. You know what I'm saying?
God
The whole
damn
thing.
it.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. And then 45, what was the fortified thing with the turkey you said?
Yeah.
Fortified sauce or something?
So we made a fortified turkey stock. Basically that means.
Stock, yeah.
So we basically take the smoked turkey that I made, and I originally made the turkey stock from the bones before it was smoked. So I took that stock, put the smoked turkey inside of the turkey stock, reduced it down a little bit, add some more aromatics like sage, rosemary, thyme, some other like flavor boosters, and then let that reduce to about half, and then make that into a sauce.
So, you know what? Like, whenever I'm seeing all these people cook, I'm like, you enjoy the cooking. Does it take any joy from the eating part? Like,
oh no,
No,
eating is one of the best parts.
oh, okay.
Because now I get to see everything, like all the labor I just put in, how it tastes now.
Right. Okay. Because I'm like, yeah, you're making the thing with so much passion. Like, do you even get to enjoy the food itself? Okay.
I will tell you though, after like trying it maybe 10 times, like I don't want to try it no more. I definitely know what it tastes like.
Right.
Yeah.
Then with food itself, like you've tried all these things, and you mentioned Southern and Caribbean and all these things and all that stuff. Do you have something you really enjoy cooking, and two, something you really enjoy eating?
I would say I really enjoy cooking munchies food. Like to me, it's the most freeing. There's no specific genre or culture or way that you have to cook it. It's kind of like, okay, what are you feeling today? And that's how we cook, right? And then you say, what's my favorite thing to eat? My favorite thing to eat is a very hard question. Let's see. I would say the oxtail sushi we make.
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
What? Like sushi? Okay, what is, how?
So we make, Basically, we take the entire oxtail dish. Like you get rice and peas, you get oxtail, you get gravy, maybe get some plantain on the side, and we make that into a sushi. So you take the rice and you make that like sushi rice. It's not as sticky, but you replace the rice with rice and peas. And then the seaweed that you usually have on the outside or on the inside of the sushi, we replace that with plantain. That has been like really, really thinly sliced, slightly seasoned just to get some color as it browns. And then on the inside, we take all that glorious oxtail meat, we pull it and put it back in the sauce, and then put that inside of the rice with a little bit of sauce. And we roll it real tight, and we slice it. And on top, we take those lima beans that are usually inside the mix and kind of crisp them up a little bit and get like a nice like lima bean powder over top. And that's kind of the dish.
Wow. Wow.
And it also comes with a Scotch bonnet mayo. But
what comes with what?
It comes with a Scotch bonnet mayo dipping sauce.
Oh, yeah. That's a whole process to make the sauce too. Okay, here's one for you though. How when you now go to restaurants, do you ever like judge the people when you eat?
See, I don't know why you have to call me out on that now. I don't know why you have to call me out. It's one of the hardest things I have to do, honestly. If I can't go to Joey's, I can't go to Moxie's, I can't go to like none of these generic restaurants anymore. I'm like, please take this back. I don't want this anymore. It's came to the point where I had to start bringing my own seasonings inside.
No!
Yeah. I'm like, salt and pepper, guys. I don't want that. Garlic, paprika, cayenne, chili flakes. Need some more. So, there was actually a time I went to Moxie's and they had fried ribs. And it was just salt and pepper. When I tell you, I took it back home. I put it in the pan, put some sauce, put some more seasoning, and one of the best meals I've ever had in my life.
Okay, that's a restaurant, but like if you're going to like an event, like like a gathering of friends and stuff, does it automatically fall on you to be the one to
And that's when I get sick that day. I'm not feeling so well anymore. You're like, can't do this.
We're like, oh, okay, you. Another thing I keep learning, like especially in those cook shows, is how important the knife is. Why? Like, you're just cutting the thing though. Like,
think of a knife as an extension of your hand.
Oh.
So if that knife is dull and you cut yourself, it's gonna be one of the worst cuts you've ever had. If that knife is sharp and you cut yourself, it'll go right through, right? And then every time you move your hand, this is the way I cut, right? So I could just talk, go here, go there, because I know exactly where that knife is. To me, I literally have my knife tatted on me. Like, it's one of my favorite pieces of equipment in that kitchen because it tells you everything you need to know about the dish you're making. Do you want small cuts? Do you want big cuts? Do you need something, a blade that's a little bit more flimsy to maybe butcher? Do you need a little bit thicker blade? Like, there's so many different knives in the world. And people do get, like, lost in that, like, when you're first starting to cook, people get lost in, like, buying a whole bunch of knives for kind of no reason. We really need, like, maybe 2 or 3 really good knives. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, you let the knife do the work for you. Take care of it. It's like a baby.
What makes a knife a good knife, and how do you take care of it?
So what makes a knife a good knife is kind of what you need it for. Like a fillet knife, a little bit more flimsy, like I said. And then if you want something smaller, you can get like a paring knife or utility knife. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of, it would depend on what it is that you're making for what knife you really want to take. Like for me, a chef knife is a knife that can be used for kind of everything, like every tool item. A utility knife is something a little bit smaller, but it gets the job done. So if you want to cut like tomatoes, if you want to cut like celery sticks, you know what I'm saying? But you don't want like a bigger knife, you can get something a little bit smaller. If you want to do something really, really small, you can get a paring knife. You know what I'm saying? Which is like, you're like right here with it. And that's, as I said, cooking is like one of the most expensive things. But like, but once you get into that world of like, of the different knives, like right now I'm fascinated with Japanese knives. They're so sexy to me.
I keep hearing that they're really good. I keep reading about that. Like, what is it because of how they are made, or like what makes them sexy to you?
It relates to samurai swords. It kind of derives from there. So the sharpness on it and the thinness is like wow, because you can get like a regular knife that's a little bit thicker of like a blade, and when you're cutting, you'll see it in your cuts. The pieces will be a little bit further apart. And if you're a person who's like cares about detail and like all the minute stuff, especially when you get to a more finer dining level, you need those to be exactly how you want it. You don't want to have to go over it 6 times. You don't want to have to go over it 3 times, you want to have to do it once and have it done. So if you have the right knife for the job that's sharpened, and the way that we take care of it is you have oil, you can have a stone, like a sharpening stone, that either wet or dry. You can have a steel that you can like sharpen daily. I usually do my stone about like once every 2 or 3 weeks just to keep it super sharp. That way it kind of brings it back to the original state of when you first bought it. Then as you go through the daily motions with the steel, you just do that to touch it up.
Wow.
But ultimately, depends on how you sharpen your knife, will depend on the longevity it has.
Oh, so the more you sharpen it, the longer or shorter the lifespan?
No, it kind of like if you're not sharpening it to the right degrees or something like that, and you're bending your blade,
Oh.
your blade will eventually like turn on itself. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of chefs, and even myself when I first started, like I used to mess it up all the time. I went through like, I don't know, like 20 knives trying to learn how to sharpen a knife properly. You know what I'm saying? It's just because it's a different method than what you're used to. A steel is, you usually do it at like a 45-degree angle, and then on a stone you want to keep it really, really like barely off the ground. You know what I'm saying? It's still 45 degree, but it's like a little bit less. So it's
Okay.
like,
Wow. I'm learning so much. So yeah, I think it's finally time for me to check out the bear. So I usually let guests go with this question, and I'm wondering what's something that happened before you were 16 that played a huge role in who you are today.
before I
Before you were
was
17, sorry.
before I was 17, I would say it was my father's death. It kind of really stuck with me, and made me kind of the person I like, the drive I have, not really the person I am, but more so of that drive to like, I really want to make generational wealth something my family experiences. I really want to make sure that when we look back on our life, it's like, oh my gosh, look how far we've come. Not so much of like, okay, we still got to go through it. I don't really want to be in survival no more. So for me, I put all that weight on my shoulder, being the oldest child of 4, and say, you know what, let's do this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. So you give us your magical sliders, and I'm gonna enjoy. Like I don't. Wow.
You gotta try it. You gotta try it. So I know
Yeah,
exactly how
yeah.
it tastes.
So I'm gonna let you go with a little bit of magic of my own.
Okay.
So, you're gonna write a number between 1 and 60, just one number, and don't show me the number, but
Okay.
you can point it to the cameras, and I will use these magical cards to try to figure out what your number is.
Between 1 and 60.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I can't show you now.
No.
You guys see that?
All right.
Alrighty.
So your number is gonna be in at least one card, but it can be more than one card. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll need your help here. Is it here?
Nope.
Nope. Is it here?
Yes.
Okay. Is it here?
Nope.
Nope. Is it here?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. And then yes.
Oh wow. Okay. 2024. 24? 24.
How'd you get that so easy?
Magic. Well, Chef D, thank you so much for the amazing, like, kind of walking me through why cooking shows are pretty cool and the amazing food that I can't wait to get to dig into
Thank you.
soon, and also for coming to the podcast today.
Anytime.